Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to PG-13 Movie Month. And tonight I got a 90s film. It's a terrible freaking comedy sci-fi movie called Mars Attacks. Yeah, if you never heard of this movie, it was a movie that came out in the mid 90s. I thought it was going to be like a fun movie like Independence Day was. It came out around the same time, and it was kind of trying to capitalize on it. And for a movie directed by Tim Burton, this is really disappointing. How can Tim Burton go from getting out of his element, which is dark, like comedy or dark, dramas like Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice and freaking Pee-wee's Big Adventure? You go from those quirky, dark comedies to a stupid sci-fi 50s inspired spoof of 50s sci-fi action films, and it's not funny. It's not funny. This has a massive cast that's completely wasted. This is the most of the cast in the movie. You got Danny DeVito, you have Martin Short, you have freaking Jack Black, Michael J. Fox, Pierce Brosnan, freaking Sarah Jessica Parker. You have Jack Nicholson in two roles, and they kill him off. You have freaking who else? There's this black guy. I forgot what his name is. I think it's Red Fox or something. I don't know. It's somebody like that. You have Natalie Portman's in this movie when she was a little girl. She was like 12, I think, when she did this movie. So she was like, it was right after Leon the Professional. You got Glenn Close. You got freaking who else is in the movie? There's so many people in the movie, and they get completely wasted. All of this cast, that's a majority of them, and half of them die. I'm not kidding, people. Half of these freaking people just die in stupid cartoonish fashion. Yeah, that's basically what it is. A bunch of aliens with big heads for brains, and they go da 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 da. That's all they talk for the whole freaking movie. It's so annoying. It's so unbelievably shitty. It's just like this does not feel like a Tim Burton movie. The effects are good. The freaking violence is okay because it is PG-13. For the time, I didn't know what that was, and the movie just failed me. I mean, it doesn't have any charm. It's not funny. The Nostalgia Critic reviewed this movie and they said it's not funny. I'm like, it's not funny. Having people die constantly in front of their faces, like getting evaporated, like freaking what Red Green Goblin did in the Spider-Man movie. That wasn't played for laughs. When he threw the pumpkin bomb and they exploded, they do that for the whole freaking movie. They shoot people. They drop. Glenn Close, a freaking chandelier falls on her. Jack Nicholson shakes hand with one of the aliens at the end, and they go dad dad, and then the thing gets right on his chest, and it comes out of him. I'm like, oh my god, this movie's just painful. Even when I was 11, I thought this movie was shit. It's so disappointing. Like wasting all this talent is what really pissed me off. I'm like, this is Rogue One all over again. If you thought that movie had that they killed off everybody in that movie, go see Mars Attacks. They did it 20 years before, and the movies are 20 years apart. 1996, 2016. They're both shit because you killed everybody off. And if you say in the comments, "Oh, this is a one and done," they were never going to make a sequel. Again, if I don't care about the characters and they kill them off, it means nothing. And even when you care about the characters and you kill them off in a stupid way, it's insulting. Jack Nicholson plays the president of the United States. I buy it. And then he also plays the Southern cowboy in like a casino or something, and he's wasted there. I'm like, again, why was this a waste of time? And then there's a scene where freaking Jessica Parker gets her head put on a freaking dog's body, and I'm like, it's so stupid. This movie is fucking terrible, man. How could they waste a budget this much on a budget? There's a reason critics hated this movie. It's not even a guilty pleasure. This movie is awful. It's one of the stupidest comedies I've ever seen. I'd rather see The World's End than this movie because at least I got laughs with that. That movie gets shipped by some people, but I like that movie because you have Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and they're way funnier together than anybody in this movie. The script is just not there. It's distant. One of the writers never wrote him another movie again after this, and I'm like, of course, because it's not funny. They waste everybody's time. It's a complete joke of a movie. The effects are really good. It's a good looking film. Burton knows how to shoot a movie and actors, but the writing's just not there. It's just like non-existent. There's a scene. You know what the alien's weakness is? Is bullshit. It's music. This old lady is like deaf, and she has like a freaking hearing aid, and she blasts music like, "Loo, loo, 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 loo," and then the aliens' brains explode. And I'm like, that's their weakness. That's their freaking weakness. Music that I could pretty much blast on my computer or on my phone, and that would kill the aliens. Not a virus like an Independence Day or the air in War of the Worlds or freaking water. You thought Shyamalan's movie Signs was stupid, that the aliens are afraid of water? This is even dumber. It is. And the film just has nonsensical. They're like, oh, but it's a nice homage to those 50s sci-fi movies that were dumb. Yeah, but those movies were shorter than this. This film feels long and it's just unfunny, and the sex jokes aren't funny. There's a scene where Martin Short is talking to a bunch of hookers. It's not funny. He falls in love with one of the women that's her face is like this. It's basically Felicity Jones for 2 hours. It's this. She doesn't say anything, and he's like jumping on top of her, and he rips her cheek off, and she's an alien. I'm like, of course, she doesn't say anything. So what the hell do you think she was? A freaking mannequin? Like, this movie's just so dumb. Like, I hate this movie. There's a reason that they put it in a list of one of the worst movies of the 20th century. It's really dumb. Because even if you like these actors, half of them die. It's very mean spirited. It's unfunny. It's a stupid movie. It has no memorable scenes. Like, I remember the scene with Tom Jones, and he doesn't die because, of course, you're not going to kill the singer. And he's a really good singer, and he's just wasted. I like It's Not Unusual, but I could hear that in another movie or anywhere else. But here, it's just complete waste. Everything in this movie just doesn't follow through. It's a movie that was forgotten. Independence Day gets much higher regards than this. That movie's dumb, but it knew what it was. It went with it. The trailer sold me. I saw that in the theater, and I still enjoy that movie to this day. Mars Attacks is a bunch of bullshit. It's an Angry Red Planet bullshit movie that shouldn't have never been made. Burton, you could do better than this. I've seen it. Corpse Bride, better than this. You produced Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a better '90s movie. You didn't direct it, but you produced it. You did Alice in Wonderland. I will defend that movie till I die because I love Mia Wasikowska and Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp isn't even in this movie. That's how much of a bullshit movie it is. It has nothing to do with. It's not even an action movie. It's very boring. Like when the aliens show up, it's like "We come in peace," and it's a bunch of bullshit so that they could, throw off the humans, and then they just kill everybody. It's basically Destroy All Humans, the video game, but as a feature film, and it doesn't work because once you've seen the same death 14 times, you're like, okay, they're turning people into skeletons with their death rays. Again, I've seen that done better in a Looney Tunes cartoon. Yeah, when freaking Marvin the Martian blast Daffy Duck, Duck Dodgers, that's funnier than a freaking almost 2 hour comedy sci-fi movie with no freaking laughs. And if you've seen this movie, I feel so sorry for you guys. It is not a guilty pleasure. This movie's awful. It's not funny. I wanted to laugh and I didn't. I didn't find anything funny. The sex jokes don't work. The freaking humor, the death scenes don't make me laugh. The comedy, the slapstick comedy doesn't make me laugh. Danny DeVito going shit, and he's like, "Look, I got a Rolex," and the aliens looking like this. And again, good visual effects for the time. The CG doesn't look bad, but it's not funny. If this was a sci-fi action movie, I could let it slide. I'll be like, okay, it's not funny, but hey, Starship Troopers came out a year after this. That's a way better freaking movie. It has gore. It's got beautiful actresses like Denise Richards. It's got great action sequences. The effects are great for the bugs on the freaking bug aliens. It's too bad I had to review that movie after I destroyed a card of The Force Awakens. But that movie is awesome. The first Starship Troopers from '97. That kicks the crap out of this freaking movie because Paul Verhoeven knows what he's doing. He's not making a comedy. He's doing political satire, which is better than oh ha ha ha. Glenn Close gets hit with a freaking chandelier or Looney Tunes death. Oh ha ha ha. Michael J. Fox dies and it's sad because this was after he got Parkinson's and all that's left is his hand. Ha ha ha. The freaking they vaporized Danny DeVito after he says, "Look, I got a Rolex. You want it?" And no, it's not funny. It is not funny. This emoji might be laughing, but I'm not. How dare you make a comedy that's not funny? You should have fired your writers, Tim Burton. Get the writers that did your other movies in the 80s and the early 90s, because this shit was just not funny. There's a reason Mars Attacks never got a sequel. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'd rather see this freaking movie again, Black Panther. Now that movie was a classic comedy compared to this bullshit. That movie made me laugh more times in the theater than I could muster. And it's not supposed to be a comedy, but it made me laugh more. It had a lighter tone, had better action, better effects. Yeah, some of the CG is not the greatest, but there's a reason it made a lot of money, and this was a financial bomb. Just like Solo. And that was supposed to be a comedy, and then they just ruined it. But anyway, make a long story short, this movie sucks, guys. Don't see Mars Attacks. It's not funny. It's insulting. It's an insult to the sci-fi genre. Almost everybody dies in it, so it's like Rogue One. It has mean-spirited humor. The sex jokes don't work. It's a waste of all this talent. It sucks. Plain and simple. Don't see Mars Attacks. It's one of Tim Burton's worst films. That's not a remake. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Take care. I gotta go because my brother just arrived. So I will see you guys in the next review. But screw Mars Attacks right in its face for not making me laugh and for being misleading and having good effects wasted on a shitty script. Later, guys.